who's been waiting patiently for us to go. We have a few snafus trying to figure out exactly what account this is happening from. And so there was confusions and re-adding people to a whole new thing and all that stuff. Anyways, that's boring. We're here. We made it. What can I say? We're a bunch of Luddites. Welcome. This is a bit of an experiment. We are basically streamcasting live from the comforts of our own homes. So you get to see us in our natural habitats, so to speak. Probably more than we'd like, but also we're lazy. So, you know, it makes things a little easier for us. But we've got, I'm going to introduce everybody. You got Andre Joseph. You've got Jeff Gal. Andre, say hello.
Hi,
there you go. There's Jeff Galashaw, who had problems trying to set up his lower thirds.
Unfinished B1.
Yeah, and then we got Mike Fotes, this strapping young lad. Talking to Mike.
Mike, talk.
Yes. To Mike, no one's gonna see
I was doing my Johnny Cash there. I'm wearing my Johnny Cash FU t-shirt, so I was doing my Johnny Cash.
There you go. All right.
We thought we lost you again.
And you know what I want to do is I want to give a big thank you to all the CineFiles fans that have been so patient waiting for us dealing with all this crap.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Guys.
But we're here now. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. So, anyways, this is our opportunity. We don't really have a chance to do this too much. It's just talk about what's going on now. Usually when we tape something, it's usually like a month after anything that's interesting to talk about has passed, and so it's like too late to talk about those things. So, I mean, we can cover like, you know, current news topics. Why don't we start off with something obvious? Summer movies we're looking forward to. Now, none of us have seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2 yet, right?
No.
No, and the reason why I haven't seen it, and I'm a big one for comic book movies. I loves me a good comic book movie, but the first one bored me to death so much that I really saw no reason. And more villains didn't make it more appealing.
Well, the trailer looked horrible to me.
I completely agree. And not only that, it seems like I feel like I've seen the movie already, since so many of our fans who we love keep insisting on posting reviews. We have a few snappers trying to figure out exactly what account.
What is that?
The hell? That's a mirror universe, Cohen.
There's a mirror. Yeah, I had the thing came up on my computer. I'm listening to myself speak as I'm talking to you. It's very bizarre.
Wow. Yeah, the mirror Cohen is clean shaven and bald. And sweet as pie.
Unless he's frustrated.
Well, you know, whatever. But anyway, so I'm just playing around with all the Google Plus stuff. Anyway,
I also, just Eric, from what you were saying is I think also another reason why I think my desire for the film, and probably a lot of other people's desire, is it's handled by Sony and it's not handled by Marvel Studios. So you don't see that really clean continuity that you've been seeing in the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor.
Or you could just say it's kind of mishandled because it seems more like a film that the studio is mandating to set up sequels more than letting it be its own, you know, entity.
Yeah, it's not told from a fan's perspective or this is what the fans want. It's from a money-making perspective.
Exactly.
And I find Jamie Foxx is almost on par as Electro as Schwarzenegger was as.
Oh, come on! He doesn't appear to be that
Captain
bad.
Cold.
He just has a bad comb over and buck teeth. Because that, in the Marvel universe, is what a nerd is.
So I guess he did. Yeah, I guess he did his best, Steve Urkel.
Exactly, and then he becomes just a blue villain, shedding his black skin. What's that about?
Hey, Jeff,
your mom outrage. Get this man a chicken patty.
What happened?
Word of advice, pal. You don't exactly have like our usual lavalier mics on you, so anytime you move away from your iPad,
sorry.
is that what you're using?
Yeah,
we hear you less and less.
How is this?
Good Lord.
Which is kind of weird and paradoxical because you're like the loudest guy we know.
Well, I'll try to yell more. You know.
Just think, Jeff. Out of our group, you would be the sassy black maid.
So
I don't know
really
about
have anything else
me.
to say about Amazing Spider-Man. What about the fact that they tagged at the very end of it, at the end of the credits? Hey, I disappeared. That's funny. They tagged at the end of the credits for some reason the stuff from X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, that's a Fox property. Amazing Spider-Man,
Sony.
right, is Sony. What kind of handshake deal do they make to allow that to happen?
I'm glad you think it's a handshake deal.
Well, because they're basically like, you know what? Marvel and Disney are not going to give us any help on this one, so we might as well do a Wonder Twins Power Activate form of a cooperation.
Well, from what I heard, Mark Webb has a deal with Fox, so basically it was kind of like a negotiation since he's doing projects for them to, you could go to Sony, make your Spider-Man movie, but Fox has to still have some hand in it somehow, so I guess they figured let's sneak in this trailer right at the end, and really has nothing to do with Marvel. It's just more of a Mark Webb contractual deal.
Wait, was it a trailer or was it a?
No, like a little short scene.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a scene from the movie at the very, very end.
Like a bumper almost. And
Was it Patrick Stewart going, "Who is this Spider-Man"?
Well, it's funny you should mention that because we had a little question that came up from this is infamous colleague Brian McKevitt, aka Comics. Hey, Brian, I'm saying hello to you if you're still watching. But he wanted to ask the tag scene that they tagged at the end features Jennifer Lawrence doing her thing.
well, I'm not complaining about that now.
Right, fighting a bunch of soldiers and stuff like that. But Calmix asked us if Jennifer Lawrence shows her butt in X-Men, is it going to be blue or regular butt colored?
I think it will be blue.
Yeah, just blue.
Because it's a family film.
Yeah, but see, here's an even more interesting question. Will it be like covered like panty wise, or will we see actual cheeks?
Well, you'll see cheeks, because Mystique in the movies does not wear panties. She's all blue and scaly.
But for the screen, they might have to make it look like a panty butt.
Unless like it's so made up, it looks like she has iguana cheeks.
Well, she's
don't know what iguana
cute, I
cheeks
think,
look
except
like.
for Merkin.
Blue iguana cheeks. Dude, that body makeup is one big merkin. It's like all scales and stuff, right? When she's in natural Mystique mode.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's complaining about that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think anyone's complaining about that. We have Megan Hogan is asking us, do you guys think Richard Lynch should get an honorary Oscar?
Who?
Richard Lynch, Mike's favorite.
Oh, the one who's haunting this broadcast.
First of all, God bless you, Megan Hogan, for bringing up Richard Lynch. And I think there should be a lifetime Oscar, even though he's dead.
He should get an Oscar for Invasion USA.
First of all, he has one of the greatest.
Our favorite.
He has one of the greatest lines in movie history when he tells Al Pacino, without coming out and saying it, I want some relief. And what he's saying to Al Pacino is, Al Pacino, I would like a blowjob. But in the movie, he says, I want some relief.
Oh, those PG-rated 70s in their language.
Yeah, you watch some of those.
Wait a minute, Kyle, our
films
favorite comic book guy, our favorite anti-Marvel guy, right?
Who, KHK?
Oh yeah, Kyle just wanted to know why did it stop streaming when Mike was talking about Electro. I had no idea that we stopped streaming, but
again,
I think we're okay.
It's live.
Okay.
Well, KHK, I just said that Jamie Foxx's Electro reminded me of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
In which unfinished B1 over here disagreed.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone
There was no song by Electro, but all the lines were just as cheesy.
all the songs are just as cheesy. What?
No, all the lines that Electro had, from what I've heard, were cheesy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I hear it's like a lot of people are talking about how it's kind of like they're comparing it to Batman Forever.
Well, does he say, like, I've got the power, or something like that?
No, he says something like, now it's time to blow out my birthday candles, or some bullshit.
Batman Forever, Jeff, not Batman and Robin.
Huh?
Remember,
I know which one Schwarzenegger was in.
I know.
Remember, Batman Forever was the third one with Val Kilmer.
Yes, that was the one that was
Still
better
tolerable
than Batman and Robin.
You know, compared to Batman and Robin, Batman Forever is basically a masterpiece.
We got a fan watching us from the UK. It's pretty much past his bedtime.
Oh, awesome. That's dedication.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate, for staying up.
And 007, whoever you might be. We like our fans from the pond. So we...
No, across the pond, not from the pond. Jesus Christ. We like our fans from the pond.
I'm still trying to get over the X-Men and the mutant Merkins.
You're way behind then, sir.
I know. I've been like trying to. I'm doing
you're in the pond
back here, trying to make sure we're still going, and I'm like pretending I'm listening to what you're saying. I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it.
I know, because I don't know where that Batman statement came from, yelling at me.
One thing I want to kind of point to our moderator here, Mr. Cohen, is that he's seen a film that's getting a lot of press lately, and that is Chef by Jon Favreau. Oh. And I remember one thing that you said in your little, 2-sentence review you gave me via email. You said when it was all said and done.
My actual review on this is infamous. Thanks for
nothing. Ooh, burn!
But you said that you were very hungry after the film.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What did he make that made you hungry?
God, man, there's so many things in that film. Everything from like Cuban sandwiches to they went to Fletcher's Barbecue in Austin. And the guy, the pitmaster at Fletcher's, was there. He was in the film. It was just such a love letter to food.
But not to film.
Like little things, like he made a grilled cheese sandwich for his son in one scene. It looked like the best grilled cheese sandwich I have ever seen.
Who's the romantic interest in that?
There really isn't a romantic interest.
But Sofia Vergara is in it.
She's his ex-wife, and it's implied at the end that they may get back together, but they don't really push that, not like you do in most commercial films. The real focus was like him regaining this relationship with his son, kind of thing. That was a real relationship focus. I mean, first and foremost, it was about this guy who's a star chef who winds up having a meltdown. It's recorded on YouTube, and therefore he's a bit of a pariah. So he decides to do something with himself, and he buys a food truck, and he decides to... Well, he doesn't buy it. It's given to him.
Oh, excuse me.
A wonderful cameo featuring Robert Downey Jr. But the thing is, his ex-wife encourages him to do this, to do something, and so he does it, and he creates a successful food truck operation.
Would you compare it favorably with Big Night?
Yes, I would. There's similar movies in certain ways. Chef is strange. It starts off as this, like, fall from grace kind of story, and to try to get back up onto the pedestal kind of story. But the big focus is him sort of like regaining his relationship with his little son, and it becomes sort of a bit of a road trip where they have to drive the food truck from Miami, where they pick it up, all the way back to L.A. and decide to test out their food in different states on the way back to L.A., right? Which is why they wind up in Austin at one point. They stop by Fletcher's Barbecue and things like that. So, I thought it was surprisingly good. I mean, I won't lie to you. It's a mainstream movie disguised as an indie film, and with that, it has its kind of logic gaps, but it's approached with a lot of heart, and it's a lot more intelligent than things like this usually are. And I gotta say, Favreau was excellent in it. He was really, really good.
I don't think he's a bad actor, but I
think he's a good actor.
That sounds like a praise.
It was like the perfect role for him, and even though he directed the film, it didn't feel like a vanity project.
Well, that's good.
I just find it interesting that we don't see a lot of films from year to year that deal a lot with food, and that like visualize food and the process of cooking. I mean, once in a while you'll see it like what was that Lasse Hallström film, Chocolat.
Oh yeah.
Big Night. Now you have Chef. Then you had that other thing with Aaron Eckhart and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh yeah, mostly Martha.
Or something.
Mostly Oh no, no reservations. It was a remake.
Yes, no reservations.
Yeah, or even the Julia Child film.
Oh, Julia and Julia.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that, so I can't really say.
It doesn't really have too much to do with food. It's more about the relationships they have with food.
Yeah.
But you just don't see a lot. And I find
why are you so interested in Chef though, Mike? What brought this up? Are you hungry?
No, but I do find it interesting that you had seen it at the Tribeca Film Festival, and I just saw a lot of press out there. But it was something I've always thought about.
And our own Billy Donnelly actually did an on-video interview with Favreau recently.
Big Bill.
Sorry?
Big Bill. That's what I call him.
Yeah, is that what we're calling him now? Big Bill? Big Bill Kahuna?
Well, that sounds like maybe a summer movie Mike might want to go see.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys feel about this, but I'll tell you, one of the movies that I left the theater absolutely starving was Do the Right Thing, believe it or not.
Oh, because pizza?
Why?
Because
Sal's Pizza?
Sal's Pizza looked fantastic.
Yes, all that racial turmoil, but it's like, hell, I want a pizza now.
If I see a fat white guy's car get filled with water, I'm starving.
Or anytime you see a broken window also.
Yep, if I see...
I was sending a message out there.
One thing that you mentioned before we went live, Eric, you said, should we ask the fans or should we discuss amongst ourselves that if it's a big surprise that Zack Snyder is named as the director for Justice League? Not
just that, does it really surprise... I mean, they made this big deal about we're getting a Justice League movie, it's confirmed, and not only that, Zack Snyder will direct it. Like, that's big news. We all knew we were getting a Justice League movie, and we all knew that was likely Zack Snyder was going to direct it.
Well,
so why...
Isn't that technically what we're getting now with Batman vs. Superman?
No,
it pretty much is a Justice League movie because you got Wonder Woman, Cyborg.
Nightwing.
Well, you understand, though, that they weren't clear what the film was when it initially went into production, and then they were like, okay, we have to postpone this. We need to step back, right? They had to, like, rewrite the script and all that stuff. And there was confusion because at first you thought it was Batman versus Superman. Remember, Snyder went up to Comic-Con and brought that actor out, and he delivered those lines from Dark Knight Rises, from the Frank Miller thing, right? And then the Batman versus Superman logo popped up on the screen. Everyone went apeshit. And then as the project progressed and news came out, oh, they're adding Wonder Woman. Or, oh, they're adding this character. Oh, they're adding... And then you're like, well, wait, what is this? Is this Justice League or is it Batman?
Well, see, I sit around and wonder, how did Henry Cavill feel hearing, oh, there's an even bigger name being added to this project, which was supposed to be Man of Steel 2. They really have no faith in me.
Well, this is the thing. Man of Steel 2 is Batman versus Superman, right? But they are doing a Justice League movie as well.
I know,
right?
But I'm just saying.
Clarify.
It just feels like a Batman vs. Superman is the Justice League prequel more than anything else.
Yes. Yeah. But look, Warner Brothers is looking at this as saying, Marvel is kicking our ass in terms of maximizing their heroes and their licenses. I mean, with Marvel Studios combined with the cloud of Disney, and it seems like everybody over there has got a real sensible way of doing things. And I remember I was at a Grant Morrison signing, and Grant Morrison said, you know, Marvel Studios is basically like Hammer, the old Hammer films. Everything is on board with like the same kind of messaging. And you got the same, I mean, more so with Marvel in terms of continuity. But Warner Brothers is just sitting there going, we fucked up. I mean, they fucked up with Green Lantern big time. They've been fucking around with the Wonder Woman script for, I don't know, and the story for I don't know how long. Yeah, they hit a home run with Man of Steel after, you know, Superman Returns was a piece of shit. And they did well with Batman. Now they're like, you know what? We lost momentum with Green Lantern, but we got to get back on track. I don't think the Flash TV show is going to be much, but
well, it seems more like they're doing the reverse of Marvel, whereas Marvel was building up to the Avengers.
Oh, Mike, you're going to endear the wrath of Kyle Hudson Canals. Just
of
wait.
Course. But it seems more like they're just starting let's do the big event movie, then start getting into individual movies.
Well, all right, what's KHK talking about?
I think where they're going basically is, this goes back to Spider-Man 2. That was nothing more than a 2-hour teaser trailer for the Sinister Six, with all the villains that they threw in there. Batman, Superman is nothing more than probably a 3-hour Justice League setup.
Oh, God, I hope not. Not 3 hours.
Well, that's where I think it's headed, and it doesn't look good, to be honest. Just all the casting choices, I'm not going to be surprised if it's terrible, especially coming out against Captain America 3. After that last one, it's going to be tough to have that particular release date that they're fighting over.
Well, I'm probably the only cinephiles right here who will say that I think Zack Snyder is about as good a choice as you can for doing a Justice League film, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Granted, it could be stupid as hell in parts, that there's good chance, but I think it's also going to be visually wonderful to look at, and it'll probably, have a lot of fun moments, I would think. It'll be, and I hope it's a geek fest like Avengers was.
Strangely enough, my issues with Man of Steel weren't really with Zack Snyder. It was with the screenplay, David Goyer. I just rewatched Man of Steel. I gave it a second chance. It was on HBO, right? Playing recently. And anything what I thought was bad came across as worse to me, seeing it the second time. I totally saw the problems, issues that film has. It's a terribly written movie. It really is. And I believe Goyer isn't involved in the next one, is he?
I don't know.
Fired him, and now the guy that wrote Argo took over the directing duties.
The Oscar winner.
Yeah, Terrio, whatever.
Chris Terrio.
Chris Terrio, yes.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe there's hope yet-ish. Right.
I thought.
I'm hearing some uncertainty there in Jeff's voice.
Well, just like with most of these big tentpole movies that are coming up, it's more of a, for me, I'll believe it when I see it. Until then, I really don't have much to say about it. That Star Wars or any of these other big tentpole movies we're supposed to be excited about. It's like, I'd rather just wait and watch.
I am excited for X-Men Days of Future Past coming out, I think, in 2 weeks.
Same here.
But
I'll see it.
I am still furious and annoyed and everything else that Cyclops is not a real major part of the X-Men, just because of the whole debacle of X-Men 3. This guy was the first fucking X-Men, and the way they redo the movies, they make it seem like Wolverine is the first X-Men. Well, he was not the first X-Men. He was like, X-Men number 8.
But he's the most bankable X-Men.
With Dave Cochran.
He's the most bankable X-Men, that's why.
What?
He's the most bankable X-Men, that's why.
Well,
nobody's lining up to see James Marsden as Cyclops. They want to see Hugh Jackman in the movie that made his career, pretty much.
Well, you got the Apocalypse movie that they announced for after Days of Future Past, so it's very likely, because it's going to be in the 80s, we may see a young Cyclops, and they'll cast whoever is the it actor of the day to replace James Marsden as a younger Cyclops. We'll see what happens, but I'm hoping Days of Future Past will undo the nastiness of that Brett Ratner entry.
That was horrible. We've already said it ad nauseum that it was a horrible piece of shit, so... And I'm sure KHK will agree with me on that.
Maybe not.
Alrighty. Well, let's segue into films to look forward to this summer then. Are we looking forward to X-Men Days of Future Past?
I'll go watch it. I mean, I have nothing against it.
The jury's out on it for me. I really liked the last one. But this one seemed overstuffed to me. I'm kind of curious how all that stuff is going to go down. And it's Bryan Singer, right? He came back to direct one, so
which is what gives me
hope. To be fair, I think Singer had 2 great X-Men's. He really did. One and 2
he did.
Really good.
He can be, when he's good, he's fantastic. But I'm just kind of curious to see where this goes. I don't know why I'm hesitant.
I think, and something, one thing that's really overlooked, I think Peter Dinklage is going to make an awesome Boulevard Trask.
Mike Foltz, our resident comic book expert. yeah. So I mean,
All of our Trask,
looking forward
also
to
the
it.
creator of the Seven.
I'm not, shaking with anticipation. Oh, I can't wait to see that film.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen you shake with anticipation for a movie, to be honest.
I'm doing it right now.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy has a chance to be very entertaining.
That's something I'm really looking forward to.
Are you shaking with anticipation?
No, you're right. I don't shake with anticipation.
You don't. You're too cynical.
It's not a part of my repertoire. Are you guys looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy?
I never read the comic books growing up, so it's hard to say, but I like Chris Pratt. I think he's going to be awesome as Star-Lord, and that might be the only reason I'll go see it, is just for him.
Oh, come on. Andre, you have no desire to see Zoe Saldana as Gamora the Galactic Assassin?
Well, she plays that part in every movie now.
And she does it very well.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, just say,
If there's some way we could get her to do, like, right before the movie, Zoe Saldana could have, like, a Rihanna-type French magazine spread. There you go.
Nice.
And we just lost Jeff.
But briefly, I would say...
Jeff go?
I think he went to go look up those Rihanna pictures.
Oh, no.
Hey, they're worth it. They're worth it.
I guess while we wait for Jeff to come back, I'd say the other movie I'm looking forward to seeing, because the new trailer hit today, is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I was actually impressed with the first one. This one looks like now they're really kind of making it darker, stepping it up from the original, and it's going to be a lot more fun. I think so.
That's funny the way you said. I think it's going to be much darker, and it's going to be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
They're going to crush.
I have to watch it again, but the trailer kind of sold me on it.
Where the hell is Jeff?
Well, he did say he wanted to eat a chicken patty, and maybe he doesn't want to do that on screen.
That's what he wants to do, because I want to bring up the topic he wanted to discuss. I'm going to contact him now and find out what happened to him. I maybe have to re-invite him.
Oh boy.
This is really meta now, folks. I'm on the phone during this cast trying to call Jeff, who should be on, and he's disappeared all of a sudden. Maybe his Wi-Fi went out or something. Oh wait, he's back.
Yes, I do not know what happened, but I got disconnected. What did I miss?
Did you go out and get yourself a sandwich or something?
No, it just all of a sudden just broke up.
All right. So
what did I miss?
We're still going on and on about the summer movies and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. So I didn't miss too much.
What about Godzilla? Are we looking forward to Godzilla? I gotta say, my interest is definitely peaked.
The trailer helped a lot because originally when I heard about it, I had zero interest.
The trailer's good. The trailer's good. Bryan Cranston's performance alone, I think, sells it really well.
All the visuals don't hurt either.
The visuals are nuts.
Yeah, it's a real, true American Godzilla movie, not like that Matthew Broderick crap.
The only Godzilla movie I saw in a theater.
No Simpsons cameos whatsoever in this one.
No thinly veiled digs at Siskel and Ebert.
That was...
No mini Velociraptor ripoffs.
No Matthew Broderick as action hero.
Exactly. No, he really wasn't. He played it the nebbishy way. The part required.
Well, that's like every Roland Emmerich movie. There's got to be the smart guy who's Jewish and does
but you have to say this. I'm going to have to give it credit. The new Godzilla does have the Japanese Jean Reno.
Oh, Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
I was about to say, John Reno's playing Japanese.
John Reno.
Okay, so I'm wondering this. I'm going to pose this question to each one of you as a Godzilla fan. Because Godzilla was the very first movie that my mom ever took me to at the movie theater, I believe.
Okay.
If Godzilla is successful, and my guess is Godzilla will not be killed off in this movie, Will the sequel have Godzilla as a good guy against another giant monster threat or alien or something?
There are other giant monsters in it, but they've been very coy as to what they are. And we don't know if they're bad guys, antagonists, or anything like that, or they're just additional monsters.
Well, my
question. See, the way Japanese mythology is, I always saw Godzilla related a lot to like the Hulk.
But then wouldn't it be sort of like a Pacific Rim 2 type film if you do it that way?
Yeah.
Well, I just got kind of a boner when you said Pacific Rim 2.
Didn't mean to cause that. Jesus.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Anybody want to say anything?
Tons of questions coming up about, apparently when people watch this, it starts to like freeze.
That's what happened with mine, and then I got cut off.
Yeah, it connects to YouTube, and YouTube there's a delay in how this is being broadcasted through YouTube, right? Okay. So what everyone is seeing is like what happened maybe like 30 seconds or a minute ago, right?
Okay.
Because it's not catching up, it just pauses until it catches up to whatever the conversation is. So it's freezing a lot for everyone watching this. So on Facebook, I started a thread. I jumped on there and explained, we have a delay going on as it's feeding into YouTube. That's why it's pausing. Blah, 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 blah.
And that is why you have
a lot of people watching it.
That's why you're a moderator, sir. You are the key.
I am totally multitasking here. It's like mission control. I've got Facebook up. I've got Google Plus up. I'm looking at the questions people are posing us, which I should look at again so I don't forget.
Yes.
I want to talk about foreign films, damn it.
Yeah, but I want to answer a lot of questions for our fans. I like this interaction with them.
That's because it's all superhero movies.
The problem is they're not hearing you because the feed has slowed up.
Oh.
So,
it's a 5-second delay.
Yeah, I'm testing it out right now.
So Mike, you can be as racist as you want. You have a delay.
But yeah, sorry. So anyways, guys, continue. It's all good.
It's all good. Do you have a list of all the people that are, or are they just questions coming in?
They're just, there aren't all the questions that are pretty much taken. I mean, Joe Gutfield asked us a question. We want to ask his question. Joe Gutfield, who makes himself present a lot on our Facebook group, right?
Guten Morgen, Gutfield.
He asks us what movie series you would like to do a show on that you haven't discussed yet.
Take your pick.
Well, we haven't discussed Lethal Weapon yet.
We haven't discussed Rocky.
Right. We haven't discussed Rocky. Okay. These are things we've talked about discussing in the past. We just never got to them.
Mike's 7 Up series that he wants to talk
7
about.
Up, yeah, we do, folks. If you can see this, we do plan to do a show on the Up series, the Michael Apted documentary series. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I can't think of any more series.
I'm sure there are plenty more. Oh, the Karate Kid series.
The Karate Kid series.
Which will probably be relegated to my show.
I look forward to that one.
Every single movie is the same. Oh, he goes to
Not
Japan
true.
in one, and then there's a girl instead of a guy. That's
okay, you got it right.
Okay, I'm just go ahead, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, it said this is infamous. Left the call.
Mike?
I think we lost Mike. Now it's Mike's turn. Well, it is actually 9:59 too.
Well, knowing Mike, he probably will
push the button wrong.
Right. But let me see.
What should we discuss in his absence?
I think we should go on to the news that the article that became a topic of much discussion on our Facebook page about foreign films.
Oh.
How the foreign film business is not as successful.
Well, I mean, it's not promoted as much as it used to be. That's key. But I mean, when I went to see The Ray 2, which is a foreign language film, I saw the audience filled with people who wouldn't normally go to see foreign films in the first place, and they followed right along with it. So it can't be that foreign films don't make money. I think maybe in certain areas they're popular, but in other certain areas people stay away from them. Because let's face it, most of the ones that we usually see on American shores tend to be dramatic or critically acclaimed, but they don't make the trailers look all that exciting either.
Just a second, Michael's calling me.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, what's up? You just got kicked out. Do you still have the invite I sent you?
You'll have to hold that bathroom break, Andre.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, how'd you get back on again?
I just went back to Google Plus, and the thing said join the whole. Go
back to your Google Plus page where you initially got the invite, and just click on it again. I can't believe I'm handling IT right now live.
Hey, that's the tricks of the trade. With us Luddites over here.
Okay, are you sure you're on the right page? Go up to the top of the screen.
Tell them to go to This Is Infamous
No, not
Media.
the Infamous page. Go to your page. Go to your Google Plus account. That's where you received the invite.
I also went to This Is Media. This Is Infamous Media. If this ever gets edited...
You and Andre talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Anything to say about foreign films, Andre?
Well, I think it's definitely down to genres. Like you said, you mentioned the Raid 2, and the original definitely raised...
What do you see on This Is Infamous? Do you see do you see a... I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay.
I'm muting my microphone.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
It definitely raised the benchmark as far as action films are concerned for this era. So when you look at a lot of the American films now that are coming out, everything is more geared to an international audience, be it Pacific Rim, be it Transformers, or any superhero movies.
Yeah, but it doesn't help that you have all these American remakes of French films people can find, like Brick Mansions, which was District B13, which was fine on its own. Of course they spoke French, but it even has the original star.
Right. But it's still the fact that the American theaters are starting to get more conglomerated with more, high-budget studio movies with big special effects, and then the foreign films that we used to be able to find, like in 98, 99, in a smaller theater in the city or in the village, now it's a lot harder to find because everything is going straight to video, be it Netflix or Hulu, and that's where the money is really being made right now as far as...
That's also where I have to find half these foreign films. I have to either get Netflix Instant, or I have to order overseas Blu-ray copies, praying they have subtitles so I can know what they're saying.
Yeah, and a lot of them I have to find through word of mouth or just through, internet buzz on Twitter or on comingsoon.net. It's hard to get any real advertisements for these movies on, say, Watching Law and Order or one of these other shows.
And that was always the clue to me that a film was foreign, when you never heard anybody from the movie speak. It was all voiceover telling you the story of the film and the visuals. But I mean, there are some films, it's just that, like you said, it's usually genre films that get more promoted than the other ones. And
yeah, so I just think that it's just a marketplace thing, and especially now you have so many 3D movies out. Smaller movies are going to be harder to find in a major theater or even in, a boutique theater of any sort.
And that usually means the foreign, definitely. But I mean, without these foreign films, there would be no Chow Yun-Fat or Jet Li, really. I mean, obviously international audiences know them, but then Americans would be like, huh, who? And
well, nowadays, because, there are films back then, you talk about Bird Tomorrow and all the John Woo films, Tarantino was really the guy who kind of put all that out in the forefront after his success with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. And you're talking about another era of guys like him and Kevin Smith and others who were taking influence from those movies that they were able to find in their local theaters or their local video stores. Where is all that now? We don't have a Blockbuster Video anymore. We don't have, like a local theater I could go down the street and watch any of these smaller films. Everything's sort of like becoming more corporate.
Well, that's the whole thing, like with video on demand, but it's not only foreign films. I mean, shoot, half the indies are the same way. Most of the time I'm seeing these like critically acclaimed films are more on video on demand than I am, going out to a theater to see them, because if you don't go that first week, it's like it's gone.
Right. The other day we had a conversation about Elite Squad. Now,
yes.
I didn't even know about this movie until the RoboCop remake came out, and everybody this big buzz about Jose Padilla as the director, and I'm like, who's Jose Padilla? And then everybody's mentioning this movie Elite Squad. So I waited until after the remake came out because I didn't bother to see it. I'd rather have my ass nailed to the door before I see the RoboCop remake. And basically, all I could say was, this is a smart man. This is a smart director, and it reminded me a lot of City of God, that original first Elite Squad movie.
Oh, yes.
Just a really good character-driven tale with a lot of action, and this guy is very talented. But how did I have to find out about him? Because of this fucking remake.
Unfortunately, well, I only discovered it because, like you said, maybe through more websites talking about it and reviewing it. I knew it way before he did the RoboCop remake, but then, there's the Elite Squad Part 2, which is a totally different type of film while continuing the same, I guess, characters from the first film. And that one becomes a little more, as always, like The Departed, undercover, trying to take down this bigger mob.
Well, yeah, the sequel is definitely more action-driven than the first one, because I think at that point he was making that jump into American cinema.
Okay, because did a thing just pop up from Mike Foltz trying to talk to you?
I think I saw an invite pop up, but I don't know if he answered it.
Well, for me, it showed up, but then it said if I answered it, I'd be dropped from this call. So.
Yeah, I didn't press anything.
Okay, so I guess he's still not in the group one. Oh yeah. Jose Padilla. But it's also but then you have the case of Let Me In, which was a great film originally, but then when you watch the remake, it's pretty much shot for shot almost the same exact film.
Right.
So it's like you spent all this money and really you get the same film, only this time in English.
Well, I mean, again, that was also, not to keep jumping off topic here, but that was the nice thing about The Departed, because I had seen Infernal Affairs long before The Departed came out, and I thought that movie in itself was amazing. And I liked that when Scorsese decided to remake it in America, that he twisted around a couple of things. He added some additional characters, so it wasn't the same predictable movie, just kept the concept intact with these two guys, one infiltrating the police and the other.
Okay, I'm getting another video call from Mike.
Yeah, I got two.
But I'm like, should I answer it or will we be dropped?
I think you should just answer it.
Okay.
Oh, and we lost Jeff, so I'm all by myself now. Yeah, a little technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was I just realized, answer it, and my microphone was muted.
Oh.
I don't know. I was trying to get Mike on.
I saw the invite pop up, but I didn't know whether he answered it or not.
I don't know what's going on either. This is just all crazy, and apparently the YouTube feed has frozen up. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, this is very odd.
And all these people are fielding questions.
Okay, yeah. I'm back. I told Mike how to come back.
Well, did you talk to Mike?
Yes, that's why I left the phone call, because he called me. So I answered his
calling
call.
the wrong call, I guess. He was I kept telling him, don't call us. Just click on the Hangout.
And he keeps saying, join Hangout. Then he hung up on me. See, I'm getting him again, video call from Mike Foltz. But if I answer, I drop out of this call.
Tell him exactly, it's okay, you know how to come back at this point.
Okay.
Tell him exactly how you did it so he does what you do.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
All right. At this point, I think we're over our allotted minute. I'm assuming that we're still recording. I don't know if it automatically shuts off. At 10 o'clock. But so excuse me. So Andre, now that we have you on, tell us about Point Break. Since now you're the expert, right? You just did an article on that.
I don't know if I would say I'm the expert, but apparently it's been reported by the Hollywood Reporter that Gerard Butler, who was originally set to play the role of Bodhi, who originally played by Patrick Swayze, decided to drop out of the film, which is set to start production in late June. And I had written in the article, but now ComingSoon.net is reporting that Ray Winstone is playing the Gary Busey role from the original movie.
Ray Winstone.
Yeah, Ray Winstone of Beowulf.
Huh. Interesting.
So, again, I think it's no pun intended, but it's a pointless remake. It's already been done. People have been mentioning to me all day. They already did it with Fast and the Furious, but it's been done with like every other movie with a cop infiltrating a gang.
Right.
It's surfing
and a game of extreme sports and
yes, no, it's extreme sports instead of surfing. So It's like you're going to fool the audience twice for a new generation, and it's just going to be a total waste. I would have preferred that direct-to-video sequel they were going to do, where all the parts were going to be recast.
There was going to be a direct-to-video sequel. Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, at one point, Jan de Bont was going to do it. That's how low his career has become.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, whatever happened to Jan de Bont? I keep hearing how he's almost poised to make a comeback, and then the project's never happened.
Okay, I told him how to do it. He says he doesn't see join Hangouts.
I tried, too.
I told him, hang up with me. It should be in that square, and don't send any calls. Just look for the join hangout. But he says he doesn't see anything that says join hangouts.
All right. Well, he's going to have to figure it out. In terms of because we wasted so much time on it.
Okay.
So Jeff, we were talking about the Point Break remake.
Okay, because me and Andre had talked about the foreign films. The Point Break remake, all I can say is that was a Hail Mary pass. I think Mike's here.
There he is.
I think.
There he is! Hey!
Okay.
He's back. And he lost his lower thirds. It's okay.
I'm just happy to be surviving.
Okay, we're on.
Look at you! It's turned you into a lush. That's a whole glass of vodka you're drinking there, my friend.
No time for small talk. We got to get on these issues.
Right, so let's talk about Point Break. Andre did a story for This Is Infamous. Gerard Butler dropped out of the project due to creative differences.
Good.
And committed to other stuff. Yeah, but he's committed to a sequel to Olympus's
Fallen.
I'd rather that than a remake of Point Break.
And I know our leader-in-chief, Billy Donnelly, really liked that movie, or he liked the other one. He liked the...
Well, I like...
No, Olympus Has Fallen looks way better than that crap with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx.
Okay, that's the one our fearless leader, Billy Donnelly, loves. And I'm sorry, Billy, I saw it. I thought it was pretty damn retarded.
Which one?
The other one.
It's called White House Down. Tatum Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad. I liked Olympus Has Fallen a lot more than I liked The White House Down.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think Olympus Has Fallen was... Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was the greatest film I ever watched, but at least
it's pretty damn brutal.
But especially to Melissa Leo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Aaron Eckhart in a thankless role, and the fact that
way he should
Butler just walks right up to the White House.
But it's still, at least...
It's not like Die Hard or anything like that, where he's in the middle of it. It's like, I'm just going to walk right up there with my gun and see what I can do.
But most importantly, at least it had no humor, whereas White House Down was nothing but humor.
White House Down had humor, but then there were elements in there that were just so fucking stupid too, man.
You realize you are watching a Gerard Butler movie, right?
Directed by Antoine Fuqua. The guy who
I love how the whole
Gerard Butler fan here. Easy now.
I'm sorry I insulted the star of Gamer. Sorry.
Matthew McConaughey's agent.
Yeah, but Matthew McConaughey's good.
Yeah, but he had to change agents in order to get better work. Gerard Butler needs some damn work.
Yeah.
I'm fine with his output as of so far.
Well, we already went over this in our Contenders episode, which has yet to be aired or uploaded. We discussed Gerard Butler, right, guys?
Yeah.
Let's get back to because we missed the conversation, Mike and I, about the foreign film sales and all that stuff.
Andre, you want to sum it up?
In a nutshell, I think it's down to genre as far as I'm concerned, unless it's something like The Raid and you're definitely, changing the plateau of action films as we know it. I think it's just harder when you look at the American cinema marketplace and everything is driven by either big stars or big special effects or a comic book property.
It's pretty much going the way of the indie film, pretty much, where it's harder, or the only place you can really see it is on video on demand because there's hardly any advertising, and half the time the studios buy the film, then seem to want to bury it so they can do the American remake also. I mean,
keep in mind also, a lot of what we're talking about is the preference towards the big budget films thing. A lot of those films are made that way for the foreign markets.
Well,
right?
I mean, I guess you could say that, but at least, okay, look at Brick Mansions, which already pretty much had an international following under the title, was it District B13?
Yeah.
Then you remake it with, like, the original star of the film, who now miraculously speaks English, and Paul Walker in the RZA. And it still bombed. So it's like you could have saved all that money and just given a bigger push to District B13 maybe on DVD or Blu-ray.
True.
That's all I'm saying, at least in that example.
I'm not disagreeing. I think it's part of also the culture of multiplexes and how they make money. They have to bring in the big ticket items, so because we all know they don't make money off of first weeks of sales, right? They make money off of concessions.
Oh,
so
but I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, even now, look at like our general conversation. Other than our, technological snafus, whole first half of the show was more about big comic book movies. It wasn't like we were talking about, oh, did you hear what Gerard Depardieu's doing or what this foreign film director's doing? So it's even.
Well, do you know of anything? Yeah. Do you have any news on that?
Well, I know the Abel Ferrara movie.
What's that?
The Abel Ferrara movie with Gerard Depardieu starring as the French politician who was accused of sexual misconduct here. The trailer premiered a few days ago. I'm sure it got very little views, but, that scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm sure that's up in the millions as far as views go. And, I mean, come on, it's Abel Ferrara finally making a movie again.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only person excited.
He's not a foreign filmmaker.
But it's all in French. The whole film is in French.
Yeah, so take that.
And I'm just saying, that to me is a little bit more interesting than, okay, Amazing Spider-Man. I guess from the trailer was going to suck. Somewhat I hear good things, somewhat I hear bad things. I still don't care. But I'm more excited about this Abel Ferrara movie. But, I mean, I know that's a personal thing, but, I mean, it seems like when it comes to film fans, a lot of us don't even care about any foreign or indie news as much as we do, another useless $200 million remake.
You know
Sorry,
what?
Mike.
I think a lot of that, Jeff, has to do with the fact that so much entertainment is being geared to us for seeing it at home. You look at this 10, 15 years ago, I was willing to go see any independent film that I was interested in at the theater. And very few times would I say, oh, I'm going to wait for it on DVD because I don't need to see that on the big screen. Now my whole opinion is, especially now that I have a family, it's like I got to just see the event pictures on the big screen. I don't need to see an independent, like Erica just seen and reviewed a film with Mark Duplass and what's her name?
Elizabeth Moss.
Elizabeth
Yeah,
Moss.
Elizabeth Moss.
I love.
Yeah. Now, unless you're on a date or, you know, I don't know, interested in one of the two leads or something, a lot of people are not going to go out of their way to see that film. A lot of it's going to be, you know, aimed at Netflix streaming or at the Amazon streaming service or something. That's where the interest is going to be, more so than anything else.
Well, it's also like that even when you go to see movies in the theater, because now you have people pulling out laptops, tablets, phones during the film and acting like it's their living room when you try to go see a movie, too.
Yeah, and then I was also mentioning earlier to Jeff, like, I saw Elite Squad for the first time a couple weeks ago, and this was a movie that I didn't even know was released until the announcement that came out about a year or two ago that Jose Padilla, the director, was doing the RoboCop remake, which I still haven't seen and I refuse to see it. But I was curious about his work, so I went back and I saw Elite Squad, and I really enjoyed it. But again, it's a movie that I only found out about because of this crappy remake that was getting released.
Yeah, well, that's a thing. This came about because of an article that was in IndieWire, right? And the question I had about that was, where does things like VOD fall in line with this? Because this is a newish model, distribution novel, that a lot of independent producers are going to, right? Where they'll release a film for about a week and it goes right to VOD. Sometimes it's released to VOD before it goes out in the theaters, right? Yeah. And there's still no way to gauge how successful that is. Like we don't know how much money is being made out of the VOD platforms for the film distributors. It seems like the deals that are being made with the filmmakers that sell the rights to do this, they just give them like a flat sum and then they just put it through VOD however they want, right? So it's not like you're getting royalties from it or anything like that.
No.
I just think that in terms of the way we view like foreign films or the way we view indie films, and really both of them in the same breath, is we have to look at what Eric just mentioned, the VOD model. Like, for instance, arguably the biggest foreign film of like the last year or year and a half or something is definitely Blue is the Warmest Color. And that right now is Netflix streaming. Now, was I going to go see something like that at the theater? I would have loved to, but no, I wouldn't have a chance. But that is on Netflix streaming, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, the question is, though, how's it doing on Netflix streaming? Like, how's it doing on streaming services and video on demand? There's no way to really...
I don't have that data.
Yeah, so that's a big controversy. That's a big discussion happening right now. It's like, how do we get the numbers on that? How do we know how well it's doing or how bad it's doing?
Well,
that's the next big internet invention, I guess, is to be able to measure that.
Well, also, if you look in like all the groups we're attached to, it's not like anybody's really mentioning it either.
Yeah, but even on our CineFiles site, and Eric has brought this up, and I agree with it, is... 3/4 of the conversations are about big budget or star-driven films.
Yeah,
our hate or love for a particular actor or actress. The genres that are discussed are fairly mainstream genres. I have not heard, like, if somebody like I don't know, somebody gets on there and starts an Eric Romer thread, how many people do you think is going to respond?
No, me.
Maybe one.
Me, that one.
Yeah, you'll chime in and you'll be like, well, this is... Hey, everybody, let me talk about French drama. Yeah, it ain't going to happen.
The problem is, too, though, there are, like, plenty of people who do want to talk about that stuff, but they encourage the other discussion because they get on the other person's thread, thus making it more popular than it needs to be by getting into that discussion whether or not they want to complain that people are talking about too much, So it's like, well, if you don't like the topic, don't encourage the conversation by joining in and discussing it. Start your own thread, whatever. But
I will say that, one thing it seems like not only is our Facebook page great for, and sometimes it can, wear thin, but, and a lot of message boards out there in general is people want to vent. It's all about venting. And I always wanna discuss like ideas and storylines and script ideas and what a film is and what is it saying and
Dude,
that.
half the stuff you post on our Facebook group. Why would you want to see this movie? This person's involved in it, and you call that person names, all that stuff.
True.
And you walk away from the discussion. You just let other people talk.
Yeah, you drop the mic.
Eric, I hate to tell you, but that wasn't me.
Oh.
You know
Was
who
that
it
your
was?
son, Strider?
You know who it was? You know who it was? The boys
from County
Tiki.
Cork. Okay. That's no one gets that.
Exactly. I'm like
Inside Joke Theater, starring two people. I'm just trying to turn over a new leaf.
Okay. I'll believe it when I see that one. Less personal attacks on certain people and their families.
But is it a personal attack if those people aren't even listening or paying attention?
Yes. You never know who's listening or how word will get back.
If I said I wanted to see Channing Tatum or Will Smith crucified to the tree of woe, neither one of those guys would care. They would just sit back and count their money, and Channing Tatum would have his stripper wife on his lap.
See what I mean? Why do you have to
That's
talk
Hollywood
about his
now.
wife? Keep it on Channing Tatum. Don't pick on his wife.
The stripper?
The actress? Yes.
You mean the stripper that plays an actress?
Because of all the issues we're having and everything, we've gone way over our time limit. It's probably not even recording anymore.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask.
Apparently, it stopped in mid-feed and at like 4 minutes. And he's just frozen at Mike, staring at the camera like this.
He's the mastermind.
I don't know if this whole thing recorded to YouTube or not. I have.
Oh my god.
But yes, welcome to our clusterfuck. Sorry it didn't work out the way we had planned.
Next
but
time
we did say it was an experiment.
I think we should do this again next week.
Yes, more prepared, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll have a lower third next week.
Well,
and I'll have a front bottom.
And hopefully we can all stay on the same call.
Iguana cheats.
Yeah. Well, we did go on for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but you put a fork in me, man. I'm almost done.
Well, I think we can finish now. My girlfriend is going to be here any minute. Her plane was delayed, and she just texted me. She's going to be showing up. I have to go downstairs to help her bring her bags up.
Okay.
And if you don't, she will mace you.
So,
not if I don't show up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, not if I mace her first.
Oh.
Well, we'll have to see how the after of all this goes.
All right, well, in case we're still on, in case we're recording, CineFiles signing off. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mike. Check out our Facebook group. Check out our Facebook page. Just like it. You get updates that way. And join our Twitter feeds. See our Twitter addresses, except for
Unfinished B1. Unfinished
yes,
B1.
Lower third.
And we're gonna have new episodes going up. We're gonna have one going up next week.
Yay!
And that's basically it. And read all that great stuff coming out of thisisinfamous.com.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Here.
All right, peace, bros.
See you guys.
Peace.
All right, take care. Thank you, everybody.